we are back. We are back with another one. And this thing is a monster, right? So, hey, I'm back, y'all. Let's get it. We're going back into this thing. We're gonna dive in deep into the aquarium world. Last video I made on the filter from Fluval was the 407, and that seemed to be a hit. Y'all really liked that video. And back by popular demand, we're gonna go through another filter here. The biggest of the Fluval bunch. This is the FX6. Now, ignore the little bit of the box damage there. Believe it or not, I bought this filter back probably around the time when I made my last video reviewing that 407. And it has been in a box, secured, not even open, not even a little bit. Still has the security band around it. And today, we're finally breaking into this thing. I've never opened one before. I've never gone through one. I've never had one. I've never messed with an FX6 before, or any of the FX line filters before, right? So I think there's an FX2 now. There's an FX4, FX6. I'm not sure if there's an FX3. And I don't think it gets any bigger than this as far as the FX series goes. So let's not waste any time. We're gonna go through this. We're gonna go through every single content in this box. I'm gonna try to explain my best as to what it is, what it does. I've seen plenty of videos already on this filter. I think I'm pretty familiar with what it is. So let me shut the hell up, stop talking so much. Let's officially get into this thing. Okay, open up the first flap. I'm immediately greeted with English, looks like English directions and the contents of the box itself. It's literally printed on the flap. I'll show you guys. Boom, got it in English. It's pretty cool. Have it in Dutch and have it in 3 very specific languages, English being one of the obvious ones, but English, Dutch, and Portuguese. Usually you get them in like German or Chinese or Spanish, right? There's not even Spanish on here. That's weird. So immediately, what's the first thing? So we got a white box on top, nothing labeled on it. And upon inspection, we have our intake. Pretty sweet. So, yeah, I can't believe how long I've had this just sitting in the box, brand new. Just now opening it. I'm talking about 2 years later. Yep, still smells brand new. So, intake tube with our grate on the bottom. Forgive me for not knowing the exact terminology. We have our ports that will attach directly to the top of the filter itself with our flow control valves. Well, there we go. Dang, they are tight. Which I kind of like that. It gives you more control, more like stable, steady control instead of like clicking on you too fast and your flow just gets out of control. So you can slowly and precisely open or close your valves. It's got a funky rubber smell to it, brand new. Cool. Got 2 of those for inlet and outlet. We've got our elbows for our tubes that will go up and around the rim of our tank. That's what these are. And then we have a little baggie of suction cups and metal clamps that tighten with a flathead screwdriver or a small socket. Cool. That's all for, I missed. The second thing is our hose and our outflow valves, or not our valves, but where the flow of water comes out back into the tank. Nozzle. All right, cool. So our nozzles, ooh, nice. Again, one thing that I've noticed with Fluval is that it never fails. The quality is always top notch. It's really thick, nice quality plastics and rubber. The nozzles themselves rotate on a ball, so you can point them in any direction. And it's a dual outlet, which is pretty sick. Cool. That'll give us some really good surface agitation. And then our hose. Now this doesn't seem like it's the hose that will take water to and from our filter. This seems like a servicing hose. I don't know until I dig in deeper, but I'm pretty sure, I think this is a servicing hose, which means if you bring it to it's close enough to a sink, instead of having to like pick it up full of water and dumping it, I'm pretty sure on the bottom of the filter there is a valve that you can open up and attach this to and drain the excess water into a sink. So, willing to bet that's what that is. Piece of paper in here. Boom, called it. Water change steps. Oh, okay, that's right. So you're supposed to be able to use the FX6 as a way to water change your tank. You can water change it from the filter itself. So you can drain the filter, keep it open draining while still connected to the tank, and it will pull water from inside the tank up through the hoses, through the filter, out that hose into the sink. And whether or not you can refill it with oh, you can, I guess. So you could actually also put that tube into another container that's holding water, close one valve, open up the valve that flows into the tank, and refill it through the filter as well. But we will not be doing that. You want to try that and do that yourself? Cool, go for it. But I have my own tried and true method of water changes, and we're going to stick to that. Honestly, no need to be going through all that hassle, even though it's a cool feature to have for people who want to use it. But for someone like me who's going to be heavily reliant on beneficial bacteria that I'm hoping to grow in my filter, I want it as little disturbed as possible. And flowing old water and new water through it, it's just going to disturb and possibly even kill any beneficial bacteria that we've worked so hard and waited so long to grow. So, cool feature. We ain't doing that though. All right, and then, how do they say it? The pièce de résistance. I probably screwed that up completely, but here we go. Nice. This is an absolute unit of a filter, and there's nothing else in the box. We can push this to the side. Okay, immediately, again, packaging is A1. The filter is solid. It's got good weight to it, not crazy heavy, but I mean, for what it is, you'd expect it to be heavy. Let's open this thing up or unravel the hose first. So it's being held by a big old rubber band. If I can get it. We're going to uncoil this hose. And for now, I'm going to put this to the side. Who knows? I'm weird like that. I don't want to throw anything away until I know for a fact I don't need it anymore. Like the Fluval 407, if you caught that video, you already know that it comes with one hose. If you haven't seen that video yet, definitely go check it out. Fluval 407. I'm going to be using that filter again for my tank. I'm going to be doubling up. Actually, I'm going to use 3 filters total for my tank. It's a 75 gallon. It's going to be an African Cichlid tank. And I'm going to be using the Fluval FX6 to do the majority of the work, the hard work. The 407 is going to be extra filtration with a bunch of fine and chemical media. And then my HOB or hang-on back filter made by Tidal. It's a Tidal 110 I'm going to be unboxing and going through with you guys as well. In another video, that's going to be my polishing filter, or my even like acting as a skimmer on the surface. You'll see when it's all done. Sounds like extra, but you can never have enough filtration. But with this hose, just like the 407, I'm going to find the middle point, and it looks like we're going to have to cut it in half and use it for both the inflow and outflow. Cool, and again, super durable, nice quality. The ends are nice, thick rubber. Yeah, no complaints at all with any cheap quality. Power cord. Got a bunch of saran wrap around it. So obviously the hose is wrapped around the filter. This saran wrap was put on here just for protection to keep from scratching the main body of the filter. So we're just gonna rip this off. we can throw this away. Before I open it up, I want to show you the back side. By the way, guys, this is YouTube, so feel free, if you feel like it's too far away and you can't really see what I'm talking about, use your fingers, zoom into the video and you can see it. This here is where we can do our water changes if we wanted to. It has like a rubber grommet here. I think it's just a, boom, just a cover. So you can cover that back up. It's got a little ring here that you can loosen and tighten for a more secure connection if you were going to use this for water changing. I'm just going to tighten it on the actual plastic itself there. And then you have a flow. You have a shutoff valve here. Boom. Turn it horizontally to open up the valve, and then turn it vertically to close the valve. Pretty sweet. Okay. We have a bunch of knobs on top, as you can see, right? So these knobs, lefty loosey, righty tighty. We're gonna loosen all these knobs and we're gonna tilt them out to the side. Snug fit, but I mean, I'm not complaining about that. That means it's gonna be a nice, secure seal on this thing once it's all said and done and closed. Just gonna pop these out to the side. Sweet. Do not worry if for whatever reason while you're opening and closing these things, if one pops out, it's actually designed to do that if there's too much stress applied to the anchor point, and it's just like a wedge fit. So if it pops out, just wedge it back in, it'll click into place, and then you can reuse it. So if it falls off or comes out, it's not broken. So don't freak out. Ooh, okay. Nice big, this is the intake. So it's pretty cool. It's labeled on top. Again, zoom in if you have to. Not sure if it's getting picked up on video. This is the outside and this is the inside. It's got these clips here as if it was meant to hold something. I don't see anything that the filter came with that would require something to go here, but maybe there's an attachment that I can buy or something extra to complement the filter. Okay, now when looking inside, there's a bunch of sponges, which is really cool. I'm trying to see. So there are two little red handles on the inside. You'll see once you get it. Let me tilt this forward and show you guys. So this is what you're looking at. Now, I'm not gonna point at the handles because you're not gonna be able to see it unless you were actually here looking directly down into it. But there's two little handles you can take. They lift up just like this. Maybe this is picking up, and you pick it all up as one solid unit, which is sick. You got 3 different trays full of sponges for filtration, and inside is absolutely nothing. Big empty bucket at that point. So for right now, we're gonna take this and put it to the side. So we have our sponges. I feel like I'm pronouncing some words really weird just because I'm in my head and I'm talking and I'm recording. You guys make me really nervous. Sometimes I get shy. It is what it is. I don't take my time to make these videos look super, super professional. I just want to make sure you guys get the information you need. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say that. Anyways, I believe you pull up on these and I can, there you go, push them out to the side and they come out completely. There you go. Big T on top, little T on the bottom. Take these off, put them to the side. And the top tray should just slide right off. Boom, there you go. 1, 2, and 3. Sweet deal. Starting with the top tray, we have coarse sponges that wrap around each tray actually, and we can actually pull this out. Looks like one big white sponge around the edge of the tray. Oh no, 2, okay. So 2 of them, has a notch there for the tubes that are gonna be going on either side. I'm not gonna take all of them out, I just wanna take out this first one to show you as an example. They're all identical on each tray. Boom, another one. And then in the center, it's another little red tray with a black coarse sponge with an egg tray surface which if you don't know what this is, an egg tray surface compared to a flat surface is a bigger deal than what we might think, right? So with a flat surface, you have a set surface area to work with. When you start introducing bumps and valleys and curves, you essentially expand your surface area, believe it or not, with a crate design, and also with these little divots all throughout. It's a better mechanism to catch bacteria or to catch whatever you're filtering, in this case water and waste, any byproduct of food and all that stuff that gets through that the fish don't eat will get caught here. So it's actually pretty cool. And I'm gonna put this right back in. And the tray that it came in has like these honeycomb design holes. So we're gonna put this back in there. Set this to the side, and then underneath this itself is another black coarse sponge, same design, eggshell on one side, flat on the other. Eggshell always pointing up. And then on here, another grate. So the water flows, I believe, all right, I'll have to look into it, but I believe the way it works, when it's all assembled, right? It's not in the exact order right now, but when it's all assembled, the water comes into the inside, right, which is right here on this side, which is the tube side. The water comes in, and I want to make sure I'm getting this correct. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be totally wrong. It goes into the bottom, comes up through the sides of these white sponges, gathers in the center of the filter, and then goes down through the center as clean water and back up the other side of the filter into the tank. You know, I could just look in the book and know for sure, so that way I'm not just guessing. How about that, Mike? That's a thought, you idiot. That's awesome. So in the book, it actually doesn't tell you. Fluval, my first complaint. Why wouldn't you show me the basics of how the filter operates with a bunch of arrows and whatnot, showing me the flow and direction of water? I'm sure you can Google it and look it up. Maybe I might put a diagram or picture on the screen for you guys. I'm pausing awkwardly just in case I had to put it in front of my face. If not, then it's just me standing here. Moving on. So that was the top tray. I'm gonna put these white coarse filters or sponges. I keep wanting to call the sponges filters, but it's just one big filter. Put it back in place. It's got a nice tight fit, so you know the sponge isn't going anywhere. I mean, the filter is sealed anyway, so it's definitely not going anywhere, but you know that the sponges are not going to be sloshing back and forth or up and down within the unit itself, which is nice to know. It's just a really well put together filter, man. And I'm going to put the egg crate black coarse filter back in the center. Remember, eggshell facing upwards. You want to be able to see it. Push that down there. And then the red tray with the other, right on top, just like that. This is the top tray, all assembled. We're going to put that to the side. Now we're going to go to the middle tray. Middle tray on the side, same exact thing with the white sponges, but in the center, here's where it gets different. So Fluval has included their Fluval rings. These are great. If you want to use it, go for it. They're porous, stone-like material, which is designed to become a habitat for beneficial bacteria to attach to and grow. So when it comes to biomedia like this, you want to make sure that you are taking care of this bacteria. This is good bacteria. This is the bacteria that you want in your water. This is the bacteria that you want because it's going to eat the ammonia. It's going to eat your nitrites, which turns into nitrates. And if you've been following me, if you've watched my previous videos, if you've been following anybody else in this hobby who knows what they're talking about, you already know that the one thing that you can't get rid of is nitrates. And the only way to do that, if you have a planted tank, your plants will eat some of it. It still won't be good enough completely, but it'll help. The only way to get rid of nitrates, truly, is to do a water change. So these are cool if you want to use them. In my case, I will not be using what Fluval gave me, although Fluval, thank you, I appreciate it. This is awesome. I will be using Chem Matrix, and I'll show you what that is towards the end of the video. Put that to the side. Another center tray. These are cool if you, like I said, if you're gonna use the Fluval rings or anything else like Chem Matrix the way I will, put it in the center. And the trays are cool because they'll act as one piece that you could take out, so that way you don't have to worry about all these little pieces falling everywhere, and they're contained in a tray. If you want to bring them like to some water, rinse them out real quick, clean everything up, and then put it back in. I wouldn't recommend, if you're going to clean it, I wouldn't recommend trying to get it squeaky clean. Remember, you're just trying to use the water that you actually took out of the filter, or dirty water that you removed from the tank. It might seem like it's not something you're supposed to do, but trust me, it's what you want to do. Use that old dirty water that you're changing out of the tank to rinse your rings or your biomedia out. You never want to use brand new water from the tap or whatnot, because the tap water has chemicals and chlorine and all that stuff that will kill your beneficial bacteria. Tidbit of information for you there. So cool, another red tray. And underneath that red tray is another bag of Fluval rings, which in my case, again, I'll be using Chem Matrix. But again, feel free to use them if you want. They're still awesome. I just prefer Chem Matrix. And for now, I'm gonna put this back together. Boom. And this is the middle tray, done. And now the bottom tray, again, same thing. White coarse filters around the edge, but in the center we have what looks like 2 media socks. That's cool. So if you want to use any chemical media like carbon or maybe Purigen, you can use these socks to put that stuff in here, these chemicals, and then it comes with 2 red clips to go ahead and tighten and close these bags, so that way that media doesn't fall out. And you can throw it in your filter as well to act as a chemical media filtration additive. Cool. Put that to the side. And under that is another black coarse filter. Unlike the others though, this one's a lot thinner. Looks like a big old burnt hamburger. And it's flat on both sides. It's still sort of coarse, right? And thick, or not thick, but dense. But it's just flat on both sides. And then underneath that, there's nothing else. It's just a grate, and that's it. I'm gonna put this thing back together. So put that back on the bottom. This is the bottom tray. Again, if you want to use any chemical media, you can throw it in these bags and then throw it in there just like that. Middle tray. And when you're when you're stacking these trays, you have notches on either side. You want to make sure that they line up, so that way you can put it back into the filter or the bucket or the body easily. Top tray, boom. Cool, looks good. And then we have skinnier notches on opposing sides, right? So you have your big notch, which is going to be for the tube that's on the lid, and then your small ones on opposing sides, which are going to be for your T-handles to lift, raise, and lower your trays. So we're going to start with the small T on the bottom first. It has a little channel there. You just, boom, put it right in there, and then you push this into that channel. Bam, we're secure. Ooh, I just noticed. You probably can't tell, but the top bigger T part has a slight curve to it, which will match the curve of the actual tray. In this case, I put this one in first without looking, and it's not with the curvature. It's actually like this outside of the curve. So that's a good thing that we caught that. So I just have to flip it, push it back into that channel. Good to go there. And let me give you guys a better view. So again, make sure that the curvature of the T is facing towards you or towards the baskets. Sneak it into the bottom of that little channel. Push it into the slots and boom. And it will fall into place. Boom. And now you have your 2 T handles to pick it all up in one solid unit. Put this over here to the side. I'm gonna grab our bucket. Bam. Grab it by the T handles. Now, okay, wait, real fist. Real quick. When you look on the inside, you have a tube right there. You also have a tube on the lid. So obviously this tube is going to go into this channel here while the tube inside goes up the other channel on the other side. So you want to make sure that your trays go in aligned. The tubes on either sides are the same exact diameter, so there's not one side that goes into a preferential side. If that even makes sense. So just make sure you line it up with that tube. Put it right in. Drop your handles. They fall flat, nice. This can only go on one way because there's already a tube on this side. So you have a tube here. It won't go in like this. The tube's gonna stop it. So there's only one way it can go, right on top. Now real quick, what I wanna see is if there's a gasket already in place, and yes, there is. Let me verify. Yeah, so that's cool. So Fluval on the FX6 and maybe on all the FX series filters already comes with a rubber gasket already in place, which is awesome. If you guys already seen my Fluval 407 filter review and unboxing, they gave you the gasket in a box or in a bag, and you had to put it in yourself, put it in place yourself. And the first time I did miss it, and then I reapplied it once I realized it was missing. So that's cool. It already comes installed. Put your tube down in that channel. Your slots should line up all the way around for your latches. Pick up on your latch, click into place. That is satisfying. Now, you don't have to go in any particular order when snapping them into place, but here's good practice. Here's something that you should probably take into consideration. Because it's a circular design and there's a gasket and there's a seal we want to maintain, it would behoove you to tighten your latches in the same fashion you would tighten the bolts on the wheel of your car. If you are not savvy on car maintenance and you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, tighten the latches, right? Start with one. And then when you're done with that one, tighten the latch on the complete opposite side of that one latch you already tightened. Preferably tightening them together. I didn't tighten this one all the way down until I caught up with this other side. And you want to make sure they're just finger tight and snug. You don't want to crank these down super hard, not necessary. From here, right, let's call this, it's a clock. We're gonna look at this as a clock. This is my 3 o'clock and my 9 o'clock position. Now I'm gonna go to my 12 o'clock and my 6 o'clock positions, and I'm gonna tighten those. Once I tighten those up, I'm gonna go to my 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock positions, tighten those. You don't have to do it in this exact same sequence, but if you want to, hey, cool. But just to give you a really clear idea of what I'm doing and what I'm talking about. After that's done, I'm gonna go to my 11 o'clock and my 5 o'clock position. And these are the last two require tightening. And this, again, you'll feel it nice and snug. You don't wanna tighten it down. It shouldn't hurt your fingers. If it's hurting your fingers, you're going way too hard. And now you have a nice equal pressured tightness all the way around. This baby is sealed. And that's it for the internals and everything that comes with this filter. What happens next, you'll have to follow along and see. This is part 1. Part 2 is gonna be me actually installing this to the tank with all the pieces. And because there's gonna be a lot of noise and a lot of moving around, that'll actually be a voice-over video. So once you see this one, definitely check out that video so you can get a complete review, unboxing, install, and then I'll talk about the actual quality of the filter itself while it's in work. What I like and dislike about it, if there's anything I dislike, I don't know. So far, every Fluval I've used in the past, including that 407 that you guys saw me unbox a couple years ago, still going on strong till today. Amazing filter. Amazing filter. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already done so, make sure you click the like, subscribe. Don't miss any future videos. We are back at it, and I'm going to make these videos more often. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. If not, let's chat, have a conversation, build a community. Let's do this thing, all right? Peace.